Yo, what's up? This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. For the next hour, my goal in life is to change the way you think about things. For the next hour, I want my opinions and my rants to broaden your horizon and to get into contact with me. I promise you, I'm not lying. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. All you have to do is get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iOS shop by searching up Hoppe Radio, Hoppe Radio. There you can chat me live and listen anywhere in the world. Maybe you're watching right now or you're listening live and you go, man, I can only listen for 5 minutes, but I want to hear more of your show. Once you get the app, you can listen anywhere in the world. And you can listen at any time and listen to any show. All 500 shows I've made in the last 4 years. And Beth chimes in, who took the test for me when I was on Rover's Morning Glory, the IQ test I took. She says, "Hey Ryan, what's up, Beth?" Also, tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and email me if you're listening on demand. RyanHoppeRadio@gmail.com. Now, before we even get into anything, because I have a lot on my mind, before we get into anything, I want to talk about the legacy and everything that Ralphie May is leaving, not just for the comedy world, but overall in general. But first, I want to tell you guys about the times I got to hang out with Ralphie May and how awkward the first one was. Okay, so 2 years ago, Mike Kelta, because I work at 102.5 The Bone, and Mike Kelta is the top-rated show here in town, so I work in promotions at The Bone. So I work with everybody on air. I work with Drew at events, Soul Brother Kevin, Seth, everybody from the Mike Kelta show. I do events by myself with people on the promo team. So 2 years ago, this winter, we did a thing called the Mike Kelta Clause. And what it was Mike Kelta would have fans email him what they wanted for Christmas, and then we would buy it for them. So let's say a company wanted a flat TV and a new iPod. We would get it for them. Let's say a company wanted a PS4 and an Apple TV. We would get it for them. So Mike, my boss from promotions, and Kelta, they wanted me to dress up as an elf. We had a few girls on a team at that point that were very good looking, so they dressed up as good looking elves, and then I was the tall 6'9" goofy elf. So the first day at Kelta Claus was the day that Ralphie May was at the Bone sitting in on Kelta's show. I think he was in town at a comedy club. And I'm a very weird guy as it is. I'm very awkward and I get nervous very easily. So I'm in the main room. When you first get to the Bone, you go up 3 floors and then you get to the main area. If you work there, you have a key card and then you put it through and then you're able to get in. If not, there's a waiting area. So I get up. It's like maybe 10 in the morning. Mike Kelta just got off air and Ralphie May comes out. And I saw his tour bus in the parking lot, but I didn't think I was going to see Ralphie May immediately. And I get really nervous. I begin to talk like a robot with a speech impediment. Whenever I meet a person that I'm a fan of, I talk like this. I do this really weird thing where I talk like a robot. So I go up to Ralphie, I'm like, and I'm in that really weird outfit, and I tweeted it out at Ryan Hoppe Radio. I put it on Gram, I put it on my Facebook. The pic, so go look at it if you haven't, of me and Ralphie May, me dressed up as like a goofy little elf. And I go up to him, and he begins looking at me, but not in a good way. Because a lot of times when I'm in, let's say, Winn-Dixie or Walgreens, people will check me out. Not like I'm a hot girl, but they'll look at me like, wow, you're tall. And I know they're about to say it. But this look that Ralphie gave me was one that was not a very good look. So I go up to Ralphie, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm a big fan. And before I'm able to finish that sentence, he goes, man, you're a goofy piece of shit. And not in a good way. And I go, but Ralphie, I'm a huge fan of when you're on Opie and Anthony, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, do you want a selfie? And I go, yeah. So we take a selfie, and then he walks and goes to the first floor. And I thought that was a okay encounter. I thought it was a good social encounter because I was in denial that one of my favorite comics just made fun of me to my face, but in a good way. So the next day, he goes on Kelta's show and just absolutely makes fun of me. Nothing bad. It's the same thing I get on air. Nothing bad. Like, it wasn't like it was cruel or mean or awful. But Ralphie was teasing me on air. So I took offense to it. I was mad, I'll be honest. for about 10 months until I went on the Mike Kelta cruise last year. So this is December 2015. So I went on the Kelta cruise like 9 months later in 2016. I wasn't mad at Ralphie, but I was like, come on, man. I'm a big fan of your work. I was offended. My ego couldn't handle the fact that somebody teased me. So I see Ralphie on the cruise, and he goes, don't you work at the Bone? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, aren't you happy? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm not even saying this because a lot of times when famous people die, we all like to make memories and we go, oh yeah, this happened. Oh yeah, I had this encounter with them. This actually happened. He comes up to me, gives me a knuckle and goes, hey man, I know I was a dick last year. I'm so sorry about that. Do you want a beer? And I go, oh, I would love a beer. Can I get a Bud Light? And I go, thank you, Ralphie. And he goes, I'm rich, bitch. I don't care. And to me, that moment showed that Ralphie was a very biting comic. Like, he was very quick-witted. Like, he was right to the point with his jokes. Like, Ralphie was a guy who was never, ever, like, a man that was left without words. Like, a lot of times when you meet these famous radio guys or comics, they're very socially awkward once the mic is off. But Ralphie was that type of guy where he always had a thing to say. And that's what was so likable about him, was he was, like, the biggest guy in the room, literally, and he actually was. Like, he was just so funny, and he always had one-liners, which is why I was thinking about it today. Sure, there will be other comics like Ralphie. Sure, there will be other comics that will be edgy and that will speak their mind and will have comedy specials. But the guy never sold out, is what I like about Ralphie. Is a lot of times when these comics get famous, they make crappy movies, and they become too cool for radio shows. When you look at all the memories that any radio show that he's ever been on, or any comic that Ralphie ever worked with, they all say raving things. It's the same things of he was generous, he was funny, he never got too cool for the room. And that's how I think every famous person, if it's local radio, national radio, if you're an author, if you're a podcast, if you're a TV actor, a movie, a singer, any form of being a famous person, that's how you should carry yourself, where you never get too cool for the room and you always appreciate anybody and everybody. Just saying. Like, I know it's a weird way to look at it because I'm 24 years old and he was 45. And I lost my dad about 3 years ago. My dad was 51. So it's been weird with these guys dying. Like with Hugh Hefner dying. You go, he was 91. He banged any girl he wanted. He literally had sex for a living. You go, he lived a good life. But when guys like Ralphie die, or even Tom Petty, you just go, man, life is short. And we literally need to appreciate every second we have. And I know it's cliche, but it's like, it's insane to think that a guy as rich as Ralphie, and a guy who left an insane legacy, and a guy who is as big as the room, a guy that literally could make anybody laugh, is now gone. And it just kind of creeps me out a little bit, the whole idea of death. And I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to tell you what I think of the afterlife or that. It's just crazy to think that a guy who literally was the life of the party is now gone. So rest in peace, Ralphie May. We all will miss you. The impact you left on comedy is great. And it's great to see that a lot of radio shows and comedians liked Ralphie. So, all right, there you go. It's weird. Usually I've been doing the show recently at the home of the Kevin Howley Show at the Dump Towers, not Trump, the Dump Towers in Newport Richey. Beautiful Newport Richey. But he had card troubles today because I've been recording it over there, so I'm doing it here at home. So about the last month, I've been doing the show with my girlfriend, and she's out hanging out with friends tonight, and I've been doing it with Kevin. So it's been weird kind of talking to myself, because, like, it's really weird when I do the show that I feel like I'm in, like, a rubber room, because I don't live in a very big apartment. So when I look at the house, it's like me. Yeah, I'm talking to people that are listening to the show, or listening to this on demand, or listening to this on Facebook Live. But I'm literally the only person in my house, and I'm the only person talking, and it's the creepiest thing. I mean, my cat's over there sleeping. I have my TV here, but it's the weirdest thing. All right, here's the deal. We're going to come back on Happy Hour and get into the news. I saw this article from Playboy.com. Yeah, they actually have articles there. if you want to get porn, just go to Pornhub. But I saw this article. It was talking about how if guys watch porn too often, it causes them to have ED. It causes them to have a trouble reaching the top of the mountain. And it also causes relationship issues. And I will give you my take on that. My take on the movie guy out in Los Angeles, who I won't even give the time of day. I'm sick of hearing his name. The movie executive scumbag out there. I will give you my take on that because I just don't want to give that dirtbag the time of day. I will talk about the NBA and much, much more after this. We will be right back on Happy Hour. Do not touch that computer mouse, that tablet, however the hell you're listening to my show.
What's up? This is
Who the hell is watching this?
Award-winning Happy Hour podcast here in Tampa Bay, and I'm here today to talk about my new friend of Happy Hour, Tampa Bay bands, who have made the new Happy Hour t-shirts possible. And here's why you should check them out.
I always feel weird.
They offer a broad range of decorating techniques that are...
I always feel weird whenever, like, I'm doing my show and I, like, look at the phone and I forget that there's people actually watching. So it's like me going like this, but I'm reading the comments, but I feel like such a creep.
About making sure it comes to you as soon as possible. They operate at their own art setup and embroidery factory.
All right, we'll be back in like 2 minutes.
And they provide the highest quality screen printing in all of Florida. And guess what?
I just got a text from one of my friends, Trey, who's watching. He's like, "Can I come over since your girlfriend's not here?" Yeah, because you want to hang out in this small apartment with my sleeping cat over there. And some good old Friday's Long Island iced tea. Cheers.
Such a great company. Trust me, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. All you have to do is give them a call right now at 813-374-9544. That's 813-374-9544, or you can visit them right off of West Shore Boulevard in Tampa Bay. That's it.
I'm usually very overwhelmed by who ends up watching my show. I mean, I hate the word honor because it's been overplayed by me, but I am.
They are the best in the Bay.
Syndicated on IRN and heard around the world on the Hoppe Radio app. You are tuned in to Happy Hour.
Hey, welcome back to Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. It's very ironic that I would play Rich as F by Lil Wayne as my opening music, because I'm not rich as F, but I like to think I am. All right. Saw this article here, and it's pretty unique. I think a lot of guys can relate to this. It's from Playboy, which I know everybody thinks about Playboy as like the home of sex, and that's fair enough, but they actually have some really good articles, and I know that's the line that every middle-aged guy says when they're like, "Yeah, you know, I found my friend's copy of Playboy in his room, and I took out a sheet of it, and I would read it, though, for the articles." But you actually can get good articles and unique things on Playboy.com. It says here, "Is porn making men soft?" ED among young men is at an all-time high, which is an absolute problem. If you're a guy who's getting ED at the age of between 18 to 30, if you're a young man having that problem, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Literally. You're in the prime of your life. If there's any reason you're having dysfunction down there, something's wrong. And this is what the article says. Research by the Naval Medical Center in San Diego found that young men that prefer porn over sexual encounters, and there are many actually, are unable to perform when the opportunity arises. No pun intended. Well, because the issue is, when you watch pornography, you get this image that the sex is going to be crazy, and there's going to be 2-point conversions, and this is going to happen. I'm trying to keep my show semi-clean. And it's going to be a 10-minute mouth hug, and this, and that. And then when you finally get laid, you're like, oh, so we're not going for 2 points? Oh, that's how long you're doing that? And that's because when you watch these videos, we forget, especially if you're like a young kid, and that sounds weird when I say young kid, but if you're between like the ages of like 14 when you kind of begin to watch it, up to like 21, like when I lost my V card, you have this idea that everything is going to be out of the world, that everything is going to be crazy. And then when it happens, you're like, that was awesome, but it wasn't what I expected. And it's because we forget that anybody in porn, some are paid very well, and some aren't paid as well, but they're being paid to act. That's why there's a show called the AVN Awards where they're given awards for best scenes because they are acting. Most of the time, if you watch a video, they're not really into the act. If you look at the girl, she looks bored out of her mind. The guy looks into it because he's getting laid, and every dude loves getting laid. But I don't think Tori Black or Lisa Ann and any of these girls, they can go on a show like Opie and Anthony back in the day, or Howard, or Rover's Morning Glory, any of those guy talk shows, and they can claim that they were into the act. They can claim that they were into the sex, but they're not, because it's really weird. Like, it's a weird mindset to think, you know what? How can I make some money? I could serve at Applebee's. I could work at Target. I could work in radio. I could do this or that. No. I'm going to have sex with a random guy for probably an okay amount of money, but there's so many actors out there that I won't be any different than most of them. So guys are just going to have fun watching me, and that's really weird. I'm just saying. Which is why porn is unhealthy. I'm just saying. Yeah, we all know every guy watches it. I'm just saying, it doesn't surprise me when I see this article saying that watching porn causes ED amongst millennials who are supposed to be reaching the top of the mountain every time. Over time, a person can become overworked, and that causes the brain chemicals to change. It says here, research shows more than 1 in 4 men watch porn once a week or less. Ugh. That number is so low that whoever they talked to about this must have circled the answers completely and utterly wrong. Get the hell out of here. 25% of men watch porn once a week? No. But here's the insane number that actually seems kind of true. 21% watch it 5 times per day. I don't even know, like, if you're just bored with your life, and I'm not even trying to be, like, shocking when I say, oh, you live in your mom's basement, but how do you have that much time to watch anything? I mean, today I watched an episode of Ray Donovan. It took like 51 minutes, and then I feel like I let the day go to waste. You're literally, no pun intended, letting your day go to waste when you watch porn 5 times a day. It says here, I love the way Playboy writes their articles. The next paragraph begins with, on its face, porn's prevalence over intercourse is easy to break down. It's convenient. It caters to every fetish. It doesn't judge. There's no pressure. And it allows the viewer to feel perfectly selfish. It's just crazy to think that, like, 40 years ago, people would actually go to, like, movie theaters and, quote-unquote, not have fun and watch porn and watch it for the acting. Or you would literally have the shame of going to the local 7-Eleven and buying a Playboy or buying a Hustler. I'm kind of past that era. But what I'm saying is, crazy to think how easy us millennials have it. No wonder we're having ED problems, erectile dysfunction. You literally can get whatever you want on any smartphone. It's not even like the iPhone is the only phone you can get porn on. You can get it literally on any smartphone. You can get it on any computer, any genre too. It's not like when they had to go to the movie theater back in the day, like good old Pee Wee Herman. They had to go with whatever movie they watched. We can get whatever we want, anything. It's like a buffet of sex. It's crazy. It's not good for us at all. Because then when we actually have sex, we're like, oh, it's not as crazy as the movies. I'm just saying. It's insane how much they put into this effort in this article about porn. There's like 7 paragraphs. And I don't feel like being creepy all night talking about porn. I mean, it just kind of repeats itself. But I wonder how they got all the research for it. Do they just call somebody in and they're like, yeah, do you want to talk about porn and sex? Come on in. I mean, I never get what these like research things they do. Like, when you talk about back pain or who you want to win, Trump or Clinton last year, yeah, people are going to give you their answers. But it's crazy to think that they actually have actual research where it's like, okay, 25% of kids our age watch porn 5 times a day. It's just weird to think that they're being asked that. And I think the numbers are even higher. I just think there's shame, even though the answers are anonymous. You know, they have the shame of when they turn in the paper or they turn in the answer on a laptop and you can have the R.I.P. thing. You just know that there's shame when you're doing a quiz about how much porn you watch. All right. Tweeting me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. Get the Hoppe Radio app. I don't know. I have a lot of things I'm up to. I mean, RyanHoppeRadio.com. I feel weird whenever I plug myself, even though it's my show. I just feel like such an attention whore whenever I'm like, check out this, or check out that, or do this. I just feel like it's a cry for attention. But that's what every radio show does. They promote themselves. I'm just saying, I think it's weird because the last month I've been doing it with Kevin, Holly, and my girlfriend, but my girlfriend's out with her friends right now, and Kevin's car broke down, so I wasn't able to record with him. So I haven't done a show by myself for maybe 4 months. So it's a little bit different. All right, we're going to come back and talk about that creep of a movie executive. I don't even want to say his name, because I'm sick and tired of hearing about him. And my take on it. We also will talk about Cam Newton. I just kind of want to recap why we shouldn't get mad at what he said. Because what he said is absolutely terrible. Cam Newton's a scumbag. Actually, I'll just talk about it now. Because I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Listen. Cam Newton is an absolute scumbag for what he said. And I'm not even going with the whole anger because I want to fit in and be mad at Cam. What he said is absolutely awful. It's terrible. It's sexist. He embarrassed the girl in front of the whole press conference. Oh, what do women know about routes? Acting like such a tough guy. But the thing is, I don't know why we force him to say sorry. The guy has done dumb things in the past. The guy's a moron. He literally, Cam Newton is the definition of a dumb jock. Like if you were to look up the word dumb jock on Urban Dictionary or in the dictionary, you would see Cam Newton's picture. He's an idiot. These guys get their head hit at every play for a living. Almost every player gets CTE. They don't know what they're saying. And even if they do know what they're saying, they're idiots. So I didn't get why all these feminists wanted Cam to say he's sorry for that sexist comment when he's not sorry. And he basically said he was sorry because he got caught and he lost a sponsor. He wasn't sorry that he said it. If he was sorry, he would have said it right after he said it. A person that would have been sorry about being sexist would have said, wow, that slipped out. I'm sorry about that. But the PR person for the Panthers afterwards put them together, and he didn't say sorry then. Cam's a douchebag. You know what? That is why Cam Newton didn't do the press conference after the Super Bowl, and that's why he doesn't like talking to the media, because he probably knows that he's not the smartest guy and he says dumb things. I just don't get why all these feminists wanted him to say he's sorry when he's not. It's kind of like one time I got beat up in like 4th grade. This kid kicked me in the balls. It hurt so badly. Like, it was ridiculous how much it hurt. Like, if a guy gets kicked in the balls, for girls that don't know, your tummy begins to ache. You just feel awful. It's like you lose all your senses. You become numb. It's terrible. And this kid kicked me in the balls on the playground, and I cried. I mean, it hurt. I was in 4th grade. I wasn't coordinated. I've never been coordinated. But back then, I was terrible. I was awful. No coordination. Remember, I think a person told on me because I was just laying there on the ground crying. So I went to the principal's office, and they're like, well, we can send you home for the day, or we can have him say he's sorry. And I remember thinking, fine, guess he can say he's sorry. And he comes in, and he's like, sorry about that. And the principal's like, what are you sorry for? Sorry I kicked you at the playground. I just remember feeling embarrassed. There was nothing I liked about that. And I'm not comparing his sexist comments to me getting kicked in the balls. My point is, I just don't know why you would want an idiot, a moron, to say he's sorry when he's not. There's nothing sincere about it. And when you heard him talking, he had more energy in his voice by being a sexist dummy than he had in that apology. He's a scumbag. Oh my God, and everybody is talking about the NFL and kneeling. Oh my God. You have that baby Mike Pence walking out. Oh, you're so edgy. You have Roger Goodell saying he's going to make it a rule that you have to be on your feet during the NFL. Roger Goodell's a pussy. He's letting Donald Trump give him his own opinions. He's literally letting Donald Trump dictate his own opinions. It didn't bother him last year. You didn't see Roger Goodell at all crucifying Kaepernick when he did it that first week back in September 2016. But now that the president's calling his ass out, that little pussy Goodell all of a sudden is like, oh, I'm against it. I despise Goodell. Like, every commissioner in any sport is a scumbag. They're all about getting money. They don't care about the game. They're about getting money. But Roger Goodell has come up with so many dumb rules that contradict itself. I'm not surprised that pussy is letting that orange-faced president push him around. Oh my God, you can't even watch football without hearing, oh, 7 49ers kneeled. Thank you, Kurt Menefee. I needed to know that. Can I please have a Sunday without politics? Can I please just watch guys crush each other and begin to get CTE and throw touchdowns? Can I please have politics and sports not be in the same discussion? It wasn't like this a few years ago. Now everything's politically correct and we have to hear about it all the time. And I tweeted about it. And somebody tweeted at me, well, you're not the programmer of Fox Sports. That's the president's call. Until you make that call of what to program, you don't really have the right to give your opinion on it. It's basically what the tweet said. Which doesn't make any sense because all you have to do, if you're the president, or if you're the person that's programming the NFL on Sundays on Fox or CBS or Mondays on ESPN, if you're programming any sports network, nobody's forcing you to talk about the topics. If you were to let this kneeling thing go to the wayside, we'd forget about it. We wouldn't care anymore. The only reason we keep talking about it is because they're making it actual news. And I know people are going to go, well, Hoppe, you're talking about it, so you're no different than the media. The media actually reports. They have a count. Like Darren Ravel on Twitter. He legit goes, okay, 12 players from the 49ers kneeled. 14 players from the Bears kneel. I'm just making up numbers. And then 0 from the Patriots did. Who gives a crap? Let's go back to eating our chicken wings, sitting on the couch, getting obese, while watching actually talented football players crush each other in the head. That's all I want. Man, it's just so annoying because, like, the NFL used to be like the best 19 weeks of your life if you're a sports fan. Every Sunday, every Monday, and not really Thursdays because it's awful. But Sundays and Mondays, you could forget about everything. and you could just relax and watch football and not have to think about Obama or Bush or Clinton, the other presidents during my lifetime. But that orange-faced moron literally is ruining sports. I'm not going to talk about him in general, but I will say with utter confidence, I will say without any doubt that Trump is ruining sports because now it's all political. Tweeted me at R.I.P Radio. Anthony Nelson chimes in. I like you, but damn. That was about me ranting. I'm just sick of it, and nobody's talking about it. Everybody reports it as actual news. It was okay to talk about last year when Kaepernick did it, and he actually shocked us. But the thing is this. The only reason we're talking about it is because Trump sent that crazy tweet, and we always go with what Trump says, and we can't ever have our own original opinions. I'm just saying. All right, I need a breather. We will be right back on Happy Hour after this. Do not touch that computer mouse, that tablet, however the hell you're listening to my show. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like absolutely annoying. I'm just so sick and tired of hearing about it. It's like, come on. The best part about having basic internet is that your computer freezes, so you have to talk to the group while waiting to go to break. Like right now. I mean, do you guys care? Chime in. Do you guys care how many people kneel? Does it affect your day? Do you go, oh my God, he didn't kneel, so I'm not going to have him on my fantasy team? Who cares? Oh my God. Let's just go back to caring about football. Just saying. All right. I love when my computer freezes. It's just the greatest feeling ever. It's one that gives you utter confidence where you go, man, I feel good about myself. Man, I love that I'm just paying $40 a month for internet. I'm getting such a great deal from Bright House. All right. What are you guys up to? Who the hell's watching this? I like that people are watching it. I appreciate it. Let's see who's watching this. Trey is watching it. I appreciate it, dude. All right, I'm going to come back from Happy Hour because my internet's freezing. This is embarrassing, but there's literally nothing you can do about it when it doesn't want to work. It's annoying. Like, every week I go, you know what? I want to have a show that doesn't have any issues with the internet and Spreaker. Just one week I want to have a good show. But no. It's not that big of a deal. I'm just saying it's annoying. All right, welcome back to Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. Tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio and get the Hoppe Radio app into Google Play and iOS shop. If you're listening live, it's weird. I think it's because I'm doing the show at my house. Usually the last few weeks I've been doing it where Kevin Holly does his show, and I've had no internet problems. But with my PS4 and my balls box and my phone, I'm having internet problems when it goes to go into break, so I'll just talk about the news here. All right. I don't want to give that movie executive the time of day. I don't want to give him attention. We all know who we're talking about. The one out in Los Angeles, obviously, because that's where they make movies. Here's what I'll say. There's been a lot of slut-shaming with the girls of that certain movie executive that have either done an act with him or been harassed, where guys are going, you're a liar. Why didn't you say something 20 years ago? Oh, you made this up. Because if it happened, then you would have said something in 1997. No, it doesn't work that way. When you have one of the biggest names in Hollywood sexually harassing you, a guy with utter power, it's like you're gonna be under a lot of pressure, because if you say a thing, nobody's gonna think you're saying the truth, or people might think it's true, but they're nervous to speak up because they don't want to be blackballed from Hollywood. It's a big cult out there. All the famous actors talking to each other. So what I'm saying is, this whole idea of all these dudes saying, oh, the women are sluts, the women are liars for not coming forth and talking about the movie executive whipping out his dick in front of the women or forcing them to do an act. Can you imagine the embarrassment they went under when that ugly piece of dirt whips out his junk? if his face is that ugly, I can only imagine the rest of his body is like a blob. He literally looks like Flubber from that Robin Williams movie. The guy is just hideous looking. And then, here's the part about the whole thing with the movie executive that I will keep nameless. That it gets iffy with male actors. A lot of feminists and a lot of even males are mad at like Matt Damon and a lot of other actors for not coming out and not saying anything about the movie executive. Here's the thing. That they're nervous as well about speaking up because then you're going up against the big dog in Los Angeles and you're going to get blackballed and nobody's going to think you're saying the truth. And he has all the lawyers behind him and he has his whole regime behind him. So the guy had power. I'm so glad it's come out now. I'm glad creeps like Roger Ailes got caught. I'm glad that creep Bill O'Reilly got caught. I'd never liked him. Thought he was just an imbecile. Did not like the way he reported the news. Just he always creeped me out. And his movie executive that I'll keep nameless literally gives me the chills too. So I'm not so quick to hate on the male actors that didn't say anything because they're in a weird position too. Everybody over there was in a weird position. You can't honestly tell me. Because that over there in Los Angeles, Hollywood, is full of scumbag actors that are about themselves, that are narcissists, sociopaths. Do you really think they want to ruin their image by going up against the big dog? That's why the big dog over there was able to do what he does, because he knows that nobody was going to tell on him. The other thing, too. You have Clinton and Obama waiting a few days to speak up on it. Of course. Because they're not real human beings. Nobody in politics is a real human being. They're all about electing themselves. They're all about the ego and the attention and the money. So when that movie executive was donating all the money, you didn't see Obama crying about it or Clinton crying about it. They obviously knew. Get the hell out of here. With Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama coming out today, I am appalled. I am shocked. When you work in the entertainment business, there's always secrets. There's always dirty secrets, and it's like a family business. If it's radio, TV, movies, music, plays, theater, podcasts, anything, there's always secrets. Everybody always gossips about each other. Everybody always talks smack about each other. So it's not a surprise to me whatsoever. So I feel like the average person that doesn't work in the entertainment business shouldn't be shocked that this happened, but at the same time, don't believe Clinton or Obama when they're saying, oh yeah, we can't believe that happened. Oh wow, really? The guy that gave us money that creeped everybody out, he was doing that? No way. Just saying. Alright, tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. Get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iPhone shop by searching it on Hoppe Radio, Hoppe Radio. Alright. Chris chimes in. Hoppe, what's up, Big Pimpin'? I don't know, just doing this podcast, talking to myself. It's the weirdest concept when you do a show by yourself. I have no idea how, like, Drew did it when he did the In Your Face show. That's what made his show so good. And he's good now, but, like, I don't know how guys like Drew or Neil Rogers or Jim Rome are able to just talk to themselves for 4 hours. I feel like I'm losing my mind just talking here. It's the weirdest concept when you talk to yourself. All right. We're going to come back and wrap everything up on Happy Hour. But first, I want to remind you that you can go to the Metro PCS shop in Tampa Bay, and I will get you the address, and they will hook you up with a top-notch deal. Tell them I sent you, and you will get an insane deal. All right. It is at 4330 North 40th, and that's in Tampa Bay, Florida. The Metro PCS shop over there. Call them at 813-628-8622. That's 813-628-8622. If you go to that Metro PCS shop and tell them that I sent you and that you're a listener of Happy Hour, they will hook you up with a great deal. Chris chimes in as well. Plans on having your girlfriend co-host? She's out with her friends tonight, but it's a once-in-a-while treat. I don't want to overdo it because it's such a cliche idea when you have like the mom and pop morning show where it's like the married couple. And oh, the guy says the outrageous things, and you have the female that keeps him in check, because you never know what the guy is going to say, but the female will bring him back to earth. Like, she wasn't like that when I had her on the show, but I'm just saying, it's so overdone having the like female co-host that brings the guy back to earth. Hey, your opinion's crazy. Come back. Wacky name DJ that spouts off insane things. Come back. Come back to earth. But yeah, I will have my girlfriend on again soon. She'll actually probably be flattered with her ego when she hears that people missed her on the show. All right. Go on Gram or Twitter. Search up Ryan Hoppe Radio and add me there. Go on Snapchat, add Hoppe Radio. I want to change back the name, but it won't let me. RyanHoppeRadio.com is my website. Email me, RyanHoppeRadio@gmail.com. Get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iOS shop. You can listen anywhere in the world. And you also can chat me live. And you can spread the word as well. I'm reading this comment I got while talking, so that's why I was talking with that robotic silence. Chris chimes in as well. He goes, if you could broadcast from any city or location, where would it be? And I'm not even saying this out of arrogance or out of an ego or out of being a douchebag or a narcissist or believing in myself too much, but I would believe any market I could go in, if I was in the right situation, that I would do well there. I did pretty well in Cleveland on Rover's Morning Glory. My dad had just passed away, and I was getting teased a lot, and I wasn't mature enough to appreciate that I was on the biggest show in Cleveland, heard in other cities. I feel like if the Ryan Hoppe of 2017 were to be on Rover's show, I would fit in much more because I'd be able to take them teasing me. But back then, I took it way too seriously. And I'm doing well here in Tampa. I've won Best Local Podcast 2 years ago. I work a lot of the events. I won Best Internet Radio Show here. I did an overnight show in Chicago. Everywhere I've gone in radio, I've done well. And so I believe if radio leads me to Fargo, North Dakota, or New York City, or hey, maybe I'm in Tampa and I actually become one of the old guys that retires here and I make it here for the next 70 years. I believe wherever I go, I can do well. Hey, who knows? Maybe someday I'll be back in Cleveland. You literally never know on radio, which is what's weird about the business is like you can have a job today but be gone tomorrow, which is why every day that I go to the Cox Media Building in St. Petersburg and my card scans and the door opens and I board up. Or I work at Tampa Bay Lightning game. Or I'm able to see the talent in the hallway. I hate the word honored, I hate the word happy, but it's a good feeling to know that I'm currently employed in a very weird business. And I appreciate everybody that listens. We have reached almost 150,000 listens and about 80,000 downloads. I know there's that rumor that my show just has 70 downloads because it was a soundbite when I was interviewing Brother Weeze on my show 2 years ago, that my show at that point was averaging 70 downloads per show. And then people were like, oh, all you have is 70 downloads. But I'm doing pretty well here. But I mean, I have a lot of growing to do. I mean, the thing that humbled me the most, quite possibly in radio recently, was when I went to the morning show boot camp back in August, so 2 months ago now. And nobody knew who I was. People that knew me from the morning show boot camp, it's like this thing where all the radio guys from all the cities get together. They go out drinking, they go out eating, and during the day there's radio classes. It's a lot of fun, a lot of seminars. I love it. But the people that knew me there knew me when I interned at the morning show boot camp back in 2013 and 2014, but everybody else had no idea who I was. Maybe 2 or 3 of them knew who I was from social media, but nobody was like, oh my God, I'm a huge fan of Hoppe Hour. Oh my God, I love When You're on the Bone. Nobody heard of me outside of that market, which is why I try to be humble, is nobody knows about Hoppe Hour outside of Cleveland with the attention I get on the morning show or here in Tampa. And the thing that will humble you the most in radio is if you go to a big city for a vacation like Chicago and everybody's walking by and nobody recognizes you. I love when I get recognized here in town. It makes me feel like I'm doing something. But when I get recognized up north for being the goofball in 7th grade, not as good of a feeling. So my point to this rant is, I appreciate you guys listening and you guys spreading the word. This has been Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, saying peace out.